My daughter, Evelyn, was born on a rainy November morning, her cries as sharp as the thunder outside. I remember holding her tiny body against my chest, whispering promises only a mother could understand. I told her I would never let the world hurt her, never let her go without love. She was my first child, my miracle after years of aching silence and hospital visits filled with disappointment. Evelyn was beautiful, even as a child. Bright eyes, a sharp little chin, and a mind that seemed too clever for her years. She was stubborn too, always wanting more, always reaching higher, always believing she deserved the world. And I encouraged it. What mother doesn't want to see her child shine? I raised her alone after her father left when she was just 8. He chose another woman over us, and though I tried to hide my tears, Evelyn noticed. She saw the struggle, the nights I went without food so she could have seconds, the years I worked 3 jobs to keep her in the private school she insisted everyone else attended. I gave her everything. She was my everything. But children don't always see sacrifice the way mothers do. When Evelyn turned 28, she married a man named Martin. He was rich, older than her, and carried himself with the arrogance of someone who believed money could bend the world to his will. I never liked him, though I kept my silence for Evelyn's sake. She told me he was her chance at the life she deserved, and she wanted me to be proud. But pride was difficult when I saw the way he looked at her, not with love, but possession. Still, I attended the wedding, smiled through my tears, and handed her the family heirloom necklace my own mother had given me. For luck, I whispered. Evelyn smiled politely, but her eyes were already searching the ballroom for Martin. Years passed, and Evelyn grew distant. Phone calls became shorter, visits became rarer. Then one day, she stopped calling altogether. I heard of her life only through whispers from neighbors and the occasional photograph online. She was living in luxury, Paris, Rome, New York. But I was not part of her world anymore. Until the day everything changed. It was a cold winter morning when I received the letter. I remember the trembling of my hands as I opened it, the way the paper seemed heavier than it should have been. It was from Evelyn's lawyer. She had inherited $5 million from Martin's estate. He had died suddenly, leaving everything to her. $5 million. And with that inheritance, Evelyn cut me out completely. The lawyer's words were clinical, but the message was clear: Evelyn no longer wished to maintain contact. She had resources now, a new life. She didn't need me. I sat in my kitchen that night, the clock ticking loudly against the silence. My daughter had abandoned me for money. The same daughter I had carried in my arms, the same daughter I had worked myself to the bone for, the same daughter who once cried in my bed when her first love broke her heart. She was gone. I told myself I wouldn't cry, but tears have a way of finding their own path. They rolled silently down my cheeks, soaking into the old tablecloth. My chest felt heavy, as if my very breath had been stolen. How could $5 million replace a mother's love? How could money erase me so easily? Months passed. I heard nothing. No visits. No calls. Not even a letter. Just silence. But silence is never permanent. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the walls of my small house in shades of gold and sorrow, there was a knock at my door. I opened it, and there stood Evelyn. Her hair was messy, her eyes swollen from crying. Her expensive coat hung loosely on her frame. She looked nothing like the radiant woman from the magazines. "Mom," she whispered, her voice cracking. And then she fell to her knees. Evelyn knelt there on my doorstep, her breath visible in the evening chill. For a moment, I just stared at her, too stunned to move. My daughter, my pride, my heartbreak, my Evelyn, was on her knees before me, trembling like a child. I wanted to reach out, to cradle her the way I had when she was little and scraped her knee on the sidewalk. But my hands froze at my sides. Years of silence, of rejection, of betrayal, held me still. "What are you doing here?" I asked softly, almost afraid the words would shatter the fragile air between us. She lifted her head, and I saw her face, pale, streaked with tears, her once perfect makeup smeared like watercolor in the rain. "Mom," she whispered again, "I have nowhere else to go." Her words cut through me, sharp and cruel. Nowhere else to go? I thought bitterly. When she had $5 million, I wasn't good enough to be part of her world. But now, when the ground beneath her had crumbled, she remembered me. "Come in," I said finally, stepping aside. My voice betrayed none of the storm raging inside me. She stood, wobbling slightly, and entered the house she had once dismissed as too small, too shabby, too beneath her new life. She sat at the kitchen table, the same table where I had once fed her bowls of soup and listened to her chatter about school. Now she was silent, her fingers twisting nervously around the strap of her handbag. I poured her tea, though I knew she preferred champagne now. Old habits die hard. Finally, she spoke. "It's all gone, Mom." Her voice cracked, barely audible. "The money, it's gone." I said nothing, only sipped my tea and waited. She swallowed hard, her eyes darting toward me, searching for sympathy. "I invested with people I thought I could trust. They promised me it would grow. I didn't listen when the lawyers warned me. I thought I was smarter, thought I didn't need anyone's advice. And now," she let out a bitter laugh that dissolved into a sob. "Now I have nothing. Nothing but debts. Nothing but shame." Her words lingered in the kitchen, heavy and sour. I remembered the nights I had gone without dinner so she could eat. I remembered sewing her dresses by hand when she begged to look like the other girls. I remembered her wedding day, when she didn't look back at me once as she walked down the aisle. And I remembered that cold letter, telling me she no longer wished to have contact. "Why are you here, Evelyn?" I asked finally. Her eyes filled with tears again. "Because you're all I have left. I thought the money would protect me, that it would make me powerful. But when it was gone, so were the friends, the parties, the admiration. They didn't care about me, they cared about the money. And she broke down, covering her face with her hands. "I threw you away for it. I was so blind. I wanted to stay angry. I wanted to remind her of the pain, the sleepless nights, the hollow ache of being abandoned by my only child. But as I watched her cry, I saw not the woman who betrayed me, but the little girl who once clung to me during thunderstorms, whispering, 'Don't let go, Mom.' I don't know if I can forgive you," I said slowly, each word weighted with years of hurt. She looked up, eyes wide, desperate. "Please. I'll do anything. Just don't send me away." The silence between us stretched long. I studied her face, the same face I had kissed 1,000 times, the same face that mirrored my own when I was young. I thought of how life had carved both of us with scars, hers hidden beneath luxury, mine beneath sacrifice. "Forgiveness isn't something you can beg for in one night," I said finally. "It's something you have to earn. Do you understand that?" She nodded furiously, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I'll do anything. I'll prove it to you. Just, don't give up on me." I reached across the table then, my hand trembling as it rested on hers. Her fingers clutched mine like a drowning woman grasping a lifeline. For a long time, we just sat there, the weight of years pressing down on us. Later, after she had fallen asleep on the couch, I stood in the doorway and watched her. Her face looked softer in sleep, almost childlike again. My heart ached with a strange mixture of love and sorrow. She had chosen money over me once. And she might hurt me again. But she was my daughter. My blood. My Evelyn. As I turned off the light, I whispered into the darkness, not sure if I meant it for her or for myself. "Maybe this time, we'll find our way back." But even as the words left my lips, a question haunted me. Could a mother's love truly survive a betrayal worth $5 million? If this story touched your heart, I invite you to pause and reflect. What truly matters more in life, money, or the love of family? Too often, we only realize the value of relationships when it's almost too late. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, or the warmth of reconciliation, share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. Don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt tales that remind us of the fragility and strength of family bonds. Together, let's keep these stories alive.